Hi, I'm Donna from Green Valley Yoga, and this is your prenatal routine particularly aimed at mums in their second trimester when you've got a bit more time and energy for your yoga practice. But it's also suitable for mums in their third trimester. Enjoy. And let's come up to stand, transitioning through all fours, toes tucked, walk your hands, and come all the way up. So finding your mountain at the back of your mat, take a nice breath, and let's have some stretches side to side. So reaching up, almost as if you're trying to climb a rope. Nice stretch out through your ribs. And then we're going to transition down again. So when you get to all fours, let's step our right leg forward and come up into our lunge. So you can have your arms up like me, you can have them at your heart, or you can have them on your belly, your choice. Make sure your knee is above your ankle and that it's not reaching beyond your ankle. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, you're going to take your hands, frame that front foot, and then walk back. So you rock onto the heel of that front leg, and it becomes a hamstring stretch. If it feels like you can't reach the ground comfortably, you could have cushions or blocks to have your hands on. And if you're not feeling much of a hamstring stretch, you can bring your arms forward, right beside your foot, and you could even pull your foot gently back. And then when you're ready, rock back forward, hands framing that foot, step back to all fours, and we're going to tuck our toes and come up into our down dog. So pushing up and coming and having a pedal of your legs. So bending each knee alternatively. And make sure your head is soft, so you can shake your head, nod your head, and just let your neck relax. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to all fours and step forward with your left leg. So you're in a lunge on the other side. Coming up, again, hands could be on the belly, at your heart, or overhead. Taking one more breath. And then when you're ready, hands down to frame that left leg, roll back, and again for that hamstring stretch. So you can keep your hands here, or you can walk them a little forward. And breathing. After your next exhale, walk your hands back forward, step back, and again let's tuck our toes and come up into that down dog. So really making sure you push in with your hands, the pads at the base of your thumb and your pointy finger, and to take some of the aggression out of your pose, the feet and hands can be closer together than they would perhaps in a traditional down dog or inverted V. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back down to all fours, keep your toes tucked, and we're going to come all the way back up to standing in your mountain. So find your position, feet hip width, and let's have a nice gentle spin with your arms. Just let your arms be floppy as they rock from side to side. And just let it slow down. And then we're going to step forward with our right leg. So think your feet are around hip width. We want to keep our feet as if they were on railway tracks. And you're going to step forward with your right leg. So we're coming into our warrior one. So back leg straight, front legs bent. Again, knees above your ankle and not coming beyond. And have your hands at your baby, at your heart, or overhead. And take some nice easy breaths. And then we're going to bend forward. So you're looking at your toes and you make a diagonal line from your fingertips to the heel of that back leg. And when you're ready, push back up to stand. And we're going to move into our warrior two. So adjust your feet a little if you need to. Hips are open and arms are wide. Your gaze can follow your front hand. Or if it feels like a lot or you'd like to have your hands on your belly, you can have your hands here. And then we're going to come down. You can take your hand or your arm down for your bent triangle. And you can look up towards that top arm, or you can look straight or down at the ground. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift up, back to your warrior two. Take a breath. Release your arms, walk your feet a little, and then step them back. So again, at the back of your mat, you'd have your hands on belly and have some little hip circles, checking in with baby, and change direction. And we're going to then go to the other side. So the same as before, you're going to step forward with your left leg. So warrior one again, knees bent. You can have hands on baby, at your heart or overhead. Making sure you've got weight across both feet and taking some nice easy breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to tilt forward. So looking at your toes and making a diagonal line from your fingertips to the heel of that back leg. And when you're ready, lift yourself back up and open out into that warrior two. Adjust your feet a little if you need to. And make sure your knee is above your ankle and that it's not collapsing inwards. If anything, it's pointing towards the pinky toe side of your foot. We'll come into that bent triangle, so the hand or the arm, and looking up. When you're ready, inhale, lift yourself back up, back into your warrior two for a beat. And then release your arms, step your feet back together a little and step them back to the back of your mat. Take a breath and we'll have some standing twists. Inhale, look behind, arms wide. Exhale as you come back in and breathe in. So just at the pace of your own breath, you can go side to side. One more on each side. And coming back. Take a breath, just noticing how you're feeling. And we're going to do some balances. So we're going to come into our dancing Shiva. So let's squat down a little on your left leg. Lift your right leg up and cross over the ankle at that knee. So you're trying to squat down a little. You can have your hand on your hip and your knee at first, just as a suggestion. And then you can bring your hands to the belly or to your heart. So this is a nice hip opener. And you keep that foot that's lifted flexed. Keep breathing, focusing on that spot on the floor to help you keep your balance. And then when you're ready, try and keep that leg up and we'll bring it behind, grab the foot or the ankle, coming into that quad stretch. See if you can keep your knees together and you can lift the opposite arm up. Breathing. And then when you're ready, release that arm, release your foot, come back to standing. And you could just have some little figures of 8 moves, just noticing as you're doing this how you're feeling after you've done the balance on just one side. Change direction. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So squat down on that right leg, lift your left leg up, cross it over the ankle at the knee. You can have your hands at your heart or on the belly. And finding that spot to focus on. If you're at home and you've got you could be close to the wall, so you could hold onto the wall or your sofa to help you balance, and it'll help you be able to bend even lower on that standing leg. And it might feel like a good stretch. Then when you're ready, come back up, release, grab that foot behind, so you can keep your knees together and raise your other arm. If you're not feeling much of a quad stretch, you can just slightly think of pushing that left hip forward a little, and it'll normally increase the stretch. And then when you're ready, release your arm, release your leg, and coming back to your mountain. Take a breath, and then we're going to transition back down to all fours. So bend your knees, walk your hands, so your knees touch down at the same time, and then we're back on all fours. So now we're on all fours with your hands under your shoulders, or if your wrists are feeling sensitive, hands in front or on your fists. Knees are around hip width, or if you're feeling more bountiful to give more space for the bump, they can be wider. So finding that position that feels comfortable, and let's have a couple of cat rolls. So you're going to inhale up into that angry cat, sink back. And then pushing forward and back up. Let's come into our side stretch. So you're going to rotate your right leg 90 degrees and come up for that adapted half moon. So gaze can be up or gaze can be down. Think your foot, your knee and your hand are all in line with each other. And just breathing here. One more breath. And then when you're ready, bring that arm back down and rotate back to all fours. A couple more of your cat rolls. Back to all fours, and then let's do the same on the other side. Left leg rotates, right foot comes up, and we stretch up to the side. Taking a couple of nice full breaths. And bringing your hand back down, rotating back onto all fours, and let's have 2 more of our cat rolls. Inhale into the angry cat, and then coming forward. And coming back. We're going to transition back up to standing. So you're going to tuck your toes and walk your hands all the way back, knees lift up. And so then stepping into the center of your mat with your legs a comfortable distance apart, maybe not as far as for your warrior, and let's point your foot towards the top of your mat. We're going to come into our triangle, so arms could be wide. Let's start by inhaling, looking up, and exhale, bend over. So you can look up to that top arm, or again, as with other positions, if your neck's not feeling comfortable, you can look straight ahead or down. And the same with your arm. If it doesn't feel good to have it up, You can rest it on your hip. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift back up, pivot all the way around, have a little bit of a twist as far as is comfortable, and then come back to face that front foot. We're going to grab opposite elbows behind and come into our pyramid pose. So legs are straight-ish and you're going to come forward. So think of keeping your back flat and of it coming to roughly parallel with the ground. So feeling a stretch possibly up the back of that front leg. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift back up, release your arms, and let's come into the center. So your feet can be parallel. We're going to clasp our hands behind and pull them down, and we're going to come into a forward fold. So if you're feeling nauseous still or you're dizzy, just don't come too far, just keep your head up, looking straight ahead. If you feel okay, you can just let your body hang and let these arms come up behind. So the arms coming up is giving you a nice shoulder stretch, and hopefully the hanging feels good for the belly. And then let's come back up to standing, slowly, head coming up last. Release your arms, and we're going to come over to the other side. So foot points to the other end of your mat. We're going to inhale, look up, and exhale into your triangle. So gaze is up if that's okay. So with triangle, we feel an openness across your chest. And your next breath in, inhale, come up, and then pivoting around, twist as far as you're able, and then come back to face that front leg. Grab your opposite arms behind and bend over that leg. After your next breath, we're going to inhale, come back up, release your arms, bring your legs back, and then you can step them back together. Come again to the back of your mat, and then when you're ready, we'll transition back down. So walking your hands and the knees touch down at the same time. We're going to come into our pigeon, so you can take your hands a little further forward, step your right leg forward, and you're going to wriggle that foot. We don't want to pull it, to yank it too much, and then coming down. So finding a place of comfort for you. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. So it's a fairly big hip stretch. You want to try and keep your hips even, so you're flat here at the back. If it's okay and if you still had space and the belly wasn't in the way, you could come down onto your forearms. So just seeing where is comfortable for you. One more breath here. And then let's walk our hands back up if you were down on your forearms, and slide that right knee back. Come back to all fours, and let's just have a wriggle or a sway of your hips from side to side. Checking in, seeing how they feel. And then we're going to come on the other side. So hands can come forward a little. Left knee, wriggle that left foot forward and slide down. So you can stay up or you can come down. Remember, this side will be different, so maybe it feels comfortable low, or maybe it feels better to stay up higher. If you still had plenty of space, you may feel comfortable all the way down on the floor with your forehead, but just wherever feels good. One more breath in your pigeon. Now you're going to walk your hands back up, release, bring that leg back, coming back to all fours. You could have a sway of your hips again, especially if it felt good. And then we're going to come into our child's pose. So bring your knees wide as your mat potentially, toes are touching, and we're going to sink back to rest for a few moments. So if you have enough space, you could have your forehead on the ground. If you're feeling bigger, you could have a cushion, or you could use your fists to rest your forehead. So I invite you to come to this position, find a place of comfort. So if it's not comfortable and you're not got enough space for belly, you could actually even rest on your sofa to give your belly more space. I invite you to close your eyes, and we're just going to rest here for a few moments. Taking a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, see if you can just let yourself soften and relax. In life, and then when we come to labor, it's going to be particularly helpful to be able to relax in short spaces of time. So in between our contractions or our surges, we want to be able to find the space to just release and relax. One more breath here. And then when you're ready, you can push yourself slowly back up and come back to your seat.